Hi everyone, my name is Dino and welcome back to the EUniverse. We are back on track. Even though we're releasing on Wednesdays, it feels really good. Now, I know it's really dark in my room, first off because my lights gave in, the ones that I use for recording, in between casting and editing. I'm so busy that I can't even look into why they won't work anymore, so we'll just have to do with this quality. I am very sorry, even for myself, because I have to edit this. In any way, I'm recording this because I need to inform you about a change in the update today. You will notice that a lot of the ERLs that we have in the update on a regular basis are missing. That's because they're all going into playoffs. Playoffs is kicking off all over the place. It's really hectic for all my co-casters and for every ERL out there, but it's so much fun because that just means that EU Masters is on the line, and I mean, I've seen crazy stuff happen already. The thing was that a lot of these ERLs, Belgian Dutch League, in the Baltic Masters, in the NLC, in PG Nationals, the games that were gonna get played had such a huge impact on the standings that releasing an update about them on Wednesday would feel really weird. So we decided to postpone them until next week, where we will have a playoff special with every team that's still in the running for EU Masters and the brackets, so you can just sit back, relax, and know what every ERL is playing for and what teams you might see at EU Masters. That being said, we don't have any time to lose for this episode because we already have the Hitpoint Masters Playoff Special and...
Hello guys, it's Maguire and I'm here to bring you the latest news from Polish Ultraliga. Let's kick it off with a 5-man Diana ult from Diago.
Ma problem zły w clearem po stronie KNF. Oj, nie trafiony Solar Flare. I tak nadciąga w tym momencie Grzybek, zobaczmy. Bardzo szybko zagrany zegarek, żeby tylko się obronić. To samo niby robi Grzybek, ale to Grzybek jest wystawiony. No! Całkowity program Diago! Te Diany cię błogosławione są! Zobaczcie, za każdym razem łapie mnie tego Ejster w bazie przeciwnika. Szuka tych zabójstw. Pewnie zostaniesz położony do spania! Jak cała twoja świta. I niekiedy moc przyjaźni to zbyt mało, żeby zwyciężyć nawet najtrudniejsze batalie.
That was only second win for Devils One this season, which means they're out of the playoffs, but thanks to a good showing in the spring split, they are likely to avoid the promotion tournament that will take place after the summer season. On the other hand, Gentlemen's Gaming wasn't so lucky. They're out of the playoffs race, and with a 3-9 record, they are sure to battle for their spot in Ultraliga in the promotion series. There are still 3 teams in KIK, PDW and KNF that are battling for the last 2 spots in the playoff stage. However, with a 4-8 scoreline, KNF has a big task ahead of themselves, and it's not entirely up to them, as both KIK and PDW need 1 win to secure their spot. Next on the menu is Illuminor, who dropped a game against KNF last week, but later on convincingly beat KIK with the great teamfighting skills from HTPNT. Take a look yourself.
Będzie szukał smite, 10 poziom, więc troszkę mniej obrażeń. Przepraszam, jest tyle samo przecież.
Tak, jest tyle samo.
Dla obu. Stare przyzwyczajenia, ale teraz...
I zmuszony do skoku.
No właśnie, wchodzimy w ten teamfight, próba engage ze strony Ścika. To wychodzi świetnie, ileż on obrażeń tutaj zadał i dołącza tego...
However, the biggest surprise of this season and probably in the history of Ultraliga is Team SK Gaming, that placed 6th last season, but in the summer they have been smashing most of their opposition with late game scaling and legendary gasman Dawid Sonek. Their goal at the start of the year was to avoid relegation, and now they're one best of 5 win from qualifying to EU Masters. That's impressive. I saved best for last. Agarok has already secured first place in the regular season, which is their 6th consecutive first place finish in Ultraliga. This means they have locked in the EU Masters spot. They have also beaten their own record for the fastest game in Ultraliga, smashing KNF in only 17 minutes and 57 seconds. And that's it from me. Make sure to tune in for Ultraliga on Tuesday, as there are some spicy matchups on the line in Illuminor vs SK and KIK battling Agarok. Have a good one!
Hello everyone, I'm Anifar and the LPLOL is back once again.
4 contra 5.
Jogador a mais, equipe de Gen em vantagem, eles estão empolgados dentro do Baron Pit, vão perdendo resistências. Vai sair um grande salto de totas em 3, já caiu o Cotamo, dano de cena, Baron a estar à festa, mas é o Galaxy que tem a double, é o Galaxy que tem a triple kill, ele vai à procura de mais, usa o R, Galaxy à procura da quadra, Galaxy à procura da penta, já consegue a quadra, já só falta o Frozen, Galaxy!
Last week, the dust started to settle on the LPLOL as the chaos manages to start leaving. Offset gets yet another 2-0 week and establish themselves as one of the top 3 teams in Portugal, as they are still gunning down for that first place. In the battle for first place though, White Dragons did manage to beat for the win, with a very convincing victory, and they also show that they are back in shape. But the most exciting game of the bunch was the last game of the week. Boa Vista versus GTZ was a battle that will be sang by eons, as Boa Vista was fighting not only for their own playoffs lives, but also to keep EGN, one of the most storied organizations in Portugal, still in the run for them. They managed to take the win, and now the 4th playoff spot is a lot more competitive. Looking forward to next week, a lot of games will be vital, as the final conclusions will be taken for the last playoff spot, as Offset for the win and White Dragons are already completely locked in, and E5 Esports are unfortunately completely out. If I had to choose a game of the week though, it would be Offset versus White Dragons, as that is going to change a lot when it comes to perceived power levels, and Offset can finally cement themselves as a powerhouse. As for me, again, I have been Anifar, and I will see you next week for playoffs.
I'll just let the clip speak for itself.
Does have the Narbar ticking away. Clydix though with both summons, it's going to be hard to pull him down. Goes into the stun, but only catches Basilisk now. Warazar slides forward, forces the cleanse out of Clydix. Vortex desperately scrabbling, clawing to find something against Goix Animo. They might take down Basilisk. They've gotten on top of Clydix. Can they make it happen? There's the polymorph, and he goes into the GA. Vortex
They have no CC left.
Will string something together. Ruff takes it down. Homeless Master is here, doesn't have the flash, doesn't have the Stormbringer.
2K.
He's in. 2K. Tay's
doesn't
got
have
blast
flash.
cone. He goes
there's a
over
cone.
the wall, into the pit, looks for the steal. Can he find it? Tay takes the Elder, and Ruff takes a kill to boot. Tay will be pushed into the resurrection. Blind Boy's in the pit. He's got Narvar stacking up. Gonna find himself a stun. Gonna find himself an ultimate. Vortex take another kill. They're gonna find a third. How is the game still going? They don't find anything with the Moonlight Vigil. He's got the red, he's got the blue guns. Takes a fair bit of damage. Out comes the Basilisk. Slows down a lot of people. Blind Boy. Oh, he gets on top of Clydix. He forces him to cleanse to back away with the Nar ultimate. Look at the damage coming through. They've got 1. They've got 2. Vortex. They massively flip the game on its head. They take 3 members of Goix Animo to only lose the support return. Clydix is up. But can he find the kills? He's kiting. He's healing. Vortex trying to finish the Nexus. It's a quadruple kill, but Clydix doesn't get it. Vortex Gaming. Don't call it a comeback. But they string 2 wins together, and that might get them playoffs.
So, Vortex managed to beat Goix Animo, I guess. This team that previously we thought they might not even be able to make playoffs suddenly comes up huge, and they take down one of the Baltic's most storied organizations. Even though it's, already been slightly spoiled to you by me and by the clip, I still really recommend you go ahead and watch the game. It was an absolute roller coaster of emotions. On top of that, we also saw Method to Madness also manage to keep their playoff dreams alive by taking down Medieval Riga, who are unfortunately now locked in last place. And even though their finishing is the same as what we saw in spring in terms of the standings, in terms of the play, they've definitely improved a lot, and they can be quite proud of themselves after summer. But over the course of the week, there were quite a lot of implications in the battle for 4th place. With all said and done, it's going to be Method to Madness facing off against Vortex. Meanwhile, at the top end of the standings, we have Ghostskiller and Iron Wolves continuing their streaks and continuing to fight for first, with Goix Animo sitting pretty comfortably in the middle. Coming into our final week of the regular season, there's obviously 2 big ticket items. Who's going to come 4th? Will it be Method to Madness or Vortex? Who will have that chance in the playoffs? Right now, Vortex hold the head-to-head. So if Vortex win their game, it's all said and done. Vortex are out. Vortex are through. And what we would need, if you're Method to Madness, is they would need to win their own game in an upset and then also Vortex would need to lose to Medieval Riga, which would in all likeliness be an upset. But other than that, we've got the big one. We've got our first place matchup on the line. The final game of the regular season. You couldn't write it any better. Goskilla versus Iron Wolves. These two teams are playing for first. Currently, we have Iron Wolves leading the head-to-head against Goskilla. So even though Goskilla are actually up a 1-game lead, if Iron Wolves win this match, they'll be 8-3 tied, 2-0 head-to-head to Iron Wolves. Iron Wolves go to EU Masters. If Goskilla win, they get over to EUM as well. This is what it's all come down to, a best of 1 with everything on the line, where the winner takes all. Personally, my money's on Iron Wolves. I mean, look at Saulius. This man is as jacked as he is cracked. I mean, that hunk of a man, Saulius, he's an esports athlete? Unbelievable. He could be a Calvin Klein model or a pro footballer with a ripped physique like that. This is by far the hottest cyber sportsman to ever grace the esports industry. And have you seen his rise? I mean, WTF, Saulius Rise hack, Yizhang Liang Men, 400 CS at 24 minutes, Saulius Rise hack. I mean, he's also just a great guy. I actually met him one time in person when I was younger. I don't know, probably around, secondary school. I got roped into watching my 3-month-old niece, while my sister went to go get her hair done, and there I am sitting in the waiting room with this hair salon, and who walks in but Saulius? And I was so nervous. I kept looking at him, and he read a magazine and waited. But I know oh, sorry. I just whenever Saulius is on the table, I get a little bit carried away. I'm a passionate guy. Anyway, everything is on the line for our final game day of the regular season this Tuesday. We'll find out who goes into the playoffs, securing that 4th spot, as well as who wins in that final game, securing the 1st place seed. It'll of course be an excellent day of League of Legends, and I hope you can join us there at the Baltic Masters.
Hello everyone, this is Noah, and this is all you need to know about this week of Superliga.
Se puede decidir aquí gran parte de la partida. Ay, aquí Santos entra, Waiting con todo, entra también acá Nixerino. Borsteado, no puede ni jugar, se le tiró el cocodrilo, le acaba rematando. Y Spectra que se muere también, Random que va a caer a manos de Flatty. Y Waiting que siga lo suyo con los anclazos, salta Rubio hacia adelante, muchísimo daño. El que tiene el cocodrilo, Robocop que podría caer, Rufus también, uno por abajo, otro por arriba. El ancla que corta la piña explosiva, la kill para Waiting. Y Rubio que tiene una misión que es entretener a Robocop e intentar acabar con él y lo va a...
If you want to get an incredible trip to one of the most unpredictable games ever, the Team Queso vs G2 Arctic is definitely your game. We have only 2 weeks of regular split left. As you can see, standings are a mess. With 10 victories, Riders and G2 Arctic have secured playoffs, but there are several candidates for the spot that sends you to the European Masters. Cream Real Betis and Mad Lions Madrid are there in that fight too, even though they are a victory behind. But this week is the chance for the Betis to claim that first spot, since they will fight G2 and Riders precisely. And maybe they will extend their 7 victories winning streak to 9. On the other half of the standings, Vodafone Giants found their first victory in weeks, but they still have playoffs quite far from them, since Team Queso and S2V are the guardians of that last spot. 4 days of regular split left, relegations, and the fight of the new kings of the league versus the old powerhouses. This is what we have right now. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next EUpdate.
Hello, beautiful people of EUniverse. My name is Murche from Czech and Slovak ERL, Mastercard Hitpoint Masters, and I'm here to give you another update, as we are heading into playoffs.
Hnedka tam přichází teleport, jako ultimátku si půjčil staník. Je to perfect execution, skvělá Soul Flare, Real od Blue a Lien. Ten je loknutý, sleduje Eska, ten skáče na Pioka z boku, jenomže to nestačí. Dobrý Everfrost. Hráči Sinners jsou docela low na životech, ale Ina Equalis jakoby nebyli jistí, jestli do toho půjdou, až teď ho na to lec. Trefuje Blue a skvěle to protančil Ordo. Ordo dopředu, Ordo dává triple kill, Ordo dává quadra kill,
Jak se to stalo?
Tady nejspíš urve Pentu.
O můj bože.
Ničeho.
Ordo. Já...
During last week, we had all our final regular season matches played, which means now we know who our playoff participants are and from which positions they are advancing. Our playoff format is same as the LECs, which means it's the modified double elimination bracket. Seeds 1 through 4 start in the winners bracket, while seed 1 gets to choose their opponent between seeds 3 and 4, and the remaining team gets matched with the seed 2. Seeds 5 and 6 start in the losers bracket. The first playoff match will happen on this Thursday. It's a do-or-die matchup between Team Vikingekrik and Team Brute. Team Vikingekrik are coming into this duel much stronger. They finished the regular season with 7 wins and 7 losses, while Team Brute had only 4 wins and 10 losses. On top of that, Team Vikingekrik started the regular split really badly, but just one roster change at the support position, Meager, coming in, completely turned around their results, and they look really different with the new support. While Team Brute had some nice moments and some good plays, they are quite inconsistent and they are still figuring some things out. We may be expecting Brute to take away 1 game, but probably not more than that. The first 2 winner bracket matches will take place on this Sunday, and while eSuba hasn't officially chosen their opponent yet between Inside Games at Dynamo Eklot, the seeds 3 and 4, from what we have heard in interviews, eSuba players said that they will probably choose Dynamo Eklot as their opponent because they view them as a weaker team compared to Inside Games, which means the second duel will be Sinners versus Inside Games. Let's start with Sinners versus Inside Games, and oh boy, it's gonna be such a banger. Both these teams finished with the same record in the regular season, 10 wins and 4 losses, but Sinners took 2 games off of Inside Games, so they have that going for them. As for the playstyles and tendencies of both these rosters, they are completely different. Sinners, they play really standard, just, you know, your typical carry mid lane, carry marksman, and then the rest of the team does front line and peels for them. Normal front to back team fights, but Inside Games, they play a lot of weak side bot lane, stuff like Sivir and Senna. We can see that coming from ING bot lane, but they play a lot around their top laner, KO. He has many carry champions in his pocket, so watch out for performance of the planer KO. This is gonna be a banger for sure. I expect this to go 5 games, but I will give a little edge to Inside Games because I think they are a bit more creative and that's gonna net them the win. For the second winner bracket duel between eSuba and Dynamo Eklot, well, eSuba is coming in like a huge favorite. They have won our league many times, they have been to EUmasters, and they are our most successful organization. They play a lot around their marksman Dene, which gets on average at 15 minutes like 1500 gold lead. Very solid mid-jungle duo with Sacrifice and Saltor, and Welcome, their top laner. Well, he is left on a bit of an island, but he always contributes to the team. For Dynamo Eklot, while I think their botlane is weaker than eSuba's botlane, than in Basket, I think DNE can look for some good stuff in the top side. Bendix and Fallen, I think they can compete with Sator and Sacrifice, the eSuba mid-jungle duo, and the top lane, Dynamo Eklot has 6-man roster. Rifte, one of the top laners who is more like carry, solo queue oriented, and Uzol, who is more team oriented. So I think DNE can make use of this, at least to make eSuba sweat a little bit, but I still expect eSuba to take this series 3-1. Okay, that's all for me and for MasterCard Hitpoint Masters. Make sure to also check out the other ERLs, and I hope to see you next time.